What was your first ham radio piece of equipment? Let's talk about it. Good evening, or good day, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to HamShackTV. I'm your host, Josh, A4WX. Appreciate you being here. Had a question come up in my brain, and I thought it would be a fun question to ask you guys. The big question is, what was your first ham radio setup? Today, I'm going to show you what my first ham radio setup is. And I'm serious, guys. I want interaction on this one. Get down in the comments down below. And let me know. I'm very curious of what your first pieces of equipment were. So to give you all a little background, I got my license in 2010. I was fortunate enough. I was in a bad place in life at that point in time. I was still living with my parents at 22 years old, and just wasn't very responsible at the time. But I was fortunate enough. My dad actually thought it was kind of cool that I was getting into the hobby, so he fronted my first pieces of equipment. So let's start out with the HT. We found a deal on Craigslist. Get that. At the time, Craigslist was the big deal. I don't remember the exact price it was, but I think we paid $50 for everything. And this is the first piece of equipment. This came in a lot. All this equipment for $50. And unfortunately, I don't remember the ham we got it from. Again, we found it on Craigslist, and this might not be the exact model, but it looks very similar. This is the Kenwood TH26 Echo. What I do distinctly remember about this particular piece of equipment was the display was on the top. Now, it's just 2 meters. Very, very basic HT. I don't even think it did tone, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Will it do a PL tone? I don't think it will. I don't see anything on there. So I'm curious if you guys have ever had one of these. Let me know down in the comments. This radio didn't last very long for me. Mind you, it was probably 20 years old when I got it, but it was just not the greatest piece of equipment when I picked it up. But nonetheless, we made it work. The battery did not work on it. I had to use an AC adapter, so didn't use it a whole lot. So next comes up is, what did I use for a base? Of course, I didn't go mobile at that point, not being brand new into it. But what I used for a base, I had an Astron 20 amp, RS20 amp power supply, and it was good power supply. I had that all the way up until a few years ago, and this also came in that deal. This radio I miss, and I cannot find it anywhere. I would be interested in purchasing one just for nostalgic purposes. But this is the ICOM IC229 Hotel. Great radio, does tone. It's 2 meters only, but it does the job for what you need to do. I would recommend this to anybody that was getting into the hobby. But then again, I can't find one. I've looked at Hamfest. I've looked everywhere. Dayton, Huntsville, Raleigh, could never find one. So if I ever found one at the right price, I'd probably pick it up just for nostalgic purposes. Had this radio for the first, 7-8 years of being a ham. Then I got out of the hobby for a little while and I sold it off. But love this radio. I eventually did take it mobile once I had some other pieces of equipment, and got into other operations. Now, that being said, I did not foray into HF. The only time I'd use HF would be field day, and that was other people's equipment. But about 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, I got inspired to get into HF, so I did, and this was my first HF rig. Yeah, buddy. Oh, you're not seeing it. Hang on. Yeah, buddy. This is the one. FT991A. This is a great rig if you want everything in one device. If you want everything in one device, this is the one to get. It's the Yaesu FT991A, VHF, UHF system fusion, HF. It does pretty much everything. Doesn't do D-Star or DMR, but nonetheless, you could use a cross mode to pull that off. The only reason I decided to switch up, and after this one I got the 710, the only reason I got rid of this one is because I wanted to be, I did at the time a lot of FT8, and I want to be able to operate FT8 while I'm using VHF and UHF, and you can't do that with this one unless you have a separate radio. So to me, it was too much radio. Too much radio for what I needed and what I wanted. But built-in tuner, good radio, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's my first setup. As far as antennas go, VHF, UHF, I've always been a trusty old J-pole guy. Using copper water pipe. Those are great. I've never manufactured one myself. I've always bought one off of somebody. But when it came to HF, I used a Chameleon Infed. And I still do. Well, I use a tactical dipole now. But I did use the Chameleon MCOM2 V2. And now I just have the TP Lite 2.0. But that's it, guys. I just wanted to, I figured we'd do some little inspiration here. I want to know what your first rigs were. And tell me all about it. You know, get in the comments and tell me everything about it. What kind of antennas did you have? What kind of power supply did you have? You know, model numbers are great, but, you know, just leave what you can remember, you know. It'd be really cool to find all that stuff out. Guys, we got some great content coming up. It's Huntsville week, y'all. In 1 week's time, we will be in Huntsville, Alabama for the Huntsville Hamfest. We're going to have some great content coming coming to you on Friday. We're doing POTA on Monte Sano. If you're going to be in the Huntsville area, come up by and see us. Just let the Guard Shack know that you are there for the ham radio event. They'll let you through. And then also, you know, just we'll see you at the Hamfest. Sunday morning, we're going to be having a YouTuber forum. Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, K8MRD, Frank, Tank Radio, I think Ham Radio Crusader, K5YVY, myself, all your favorite ham radio YouTubers. Can't forget Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course. We're all going to be there. Come see us. Hang out with us. We'll see you in Huntsville. We'll have more content before then. 73s, everybody. AA4WX, WSCB 693.